Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. This is going to be something a little different. We are going to look through my old books I made as a kid, known as Super Oreo. I'm doing this because I've actually been revisiting these, and I thought it'd be interesting to look back at them and showcase them. So when I was a kid, and 8 years old to be exact, I made a story about my dog, whose name is Oreo, and he was a superhero. And yeah, that's pretty much the basic of it. I would start from the very beginning, but I do not have the first book of the books I made. I mean, a lot of them. I don't know where it went. I have an idea, but I couldn't find it there, so who knows. So yeah, I have every book but the first one. But this is actually a remake cover I was going to make as a kid. So I was like, 2 years older, I think. Because the first book, I remember, not looking that great. You're going to see how bad my artwork was as a kid. So yeah, if you want to see my new take on this, go to my TikTok, which should be in the description, maybe. Maybe not. But yeah, here's kind of the idea. So I'm going to explain. It's my dog and my cousin's dog, whose name is Elvis, Super Oreo. You get it? They go into this lab. And they get zapped by this villain, who's King Cat, who looks like this. Actually, it looks better than this. This is a terrible drawing. And they get superpowers. Oreo can fly. He has lightning bolt powers, and Elvis, he can stretch. But that actually wasn't a power he had later. He actually got a little later, because in the beginning he had no powers really. He also makes a monster called Frankentyler here, who's supposed to be a lot bigger than this. Why is it called Frankentyler? Well, I was mad at my brother one day. He's like, hey, this guy's you. And I was like, that's kind of mean, so I made him good. He also has these things called catbots who aren't that important for right now. They're just like robot things. And yeah, they beat him. That's it. I was making this book while my other brother, was also making a book at the same time. So we used to make books together, and we'll get to the other ones, maybe, if you guys like this. I have a bunch of other ones that aren't Super Oreo related. So that's the whole gist of Super Oreo. Dogs, they're actually other animals too. They fight this King Cat guy, and pretty basic. And here it is. This is the first one. The second one. I do not have the first one, like I said, but I do have the second one. And this one is Trapped in Fairy Tale Land. I was like, yeah, why do they get trapped in Fairy Tale Land? Oh, yeah. So it gives you, this is a better idea what they look like, even though this artwork is terrible. Like, I rushed this one out the same day I did the first one. Like I said, I don't know why I'm missing the first one. I introduced a new character, which is Super Fluffy. She's a hamster, because I had a hamster, and I was like, hey, put that in there. There's also a little old relic, is that I have this little yin-yang stamp here. That meant that this book was only 1 out of 5, because the first one I put like 5 on them. And I only did that for the first 3, and the third one I lost the cover, so I redid it as a kid and didn't put the stamp back on. My favorite things, I drew Fluffy's here, obviously, but I was originally drawing it over here, but I guess I didn't like it, so I redrew it, but I didn't erase it, so there it is. No, yeah, there's book monsters. There's 1 here, and 3 here. Don't know why this one is different from these. Don't ask. So the reason why this one isn't like with the rest of this stuff here is because this paper is giant. Whatever I made it on. I mean, look at this thing. So unfortunately, this is the best way I can store it, because I really don't know how else. I also really can't showcase what's going on in this book. I'll do a better deep dive into these if you want me to later, so I can read it, but I'm not reading it, I'm just showcasing. So, they get trapped in Fairy Tale Land, but nothing happens in Fairy Tale Land. They just fight book monsters there. And it ends, kind of, they don't even beat King Cat, because I guess I got lazy. But yeah. Here is the third book, which adds more characters and crap. They go to the North Pole, just fight candy cane monsters, and I thought that's the best story ever. And I brought back Frankentyler. This is a remake cover, because I lost it as a kid, and then I remade it as a kid. And this one I got my mom to help with the writing, and it's not perfect, obviously, and you can obviously tell. I thought, yeah, they get a ticket to the North Pole, which is actually a trap. And this whole page is the worst page I've ever drew and written in my life. It's the same joke 5 times. And then there's candy canes, and they fight them for a while. It's lovely. And there's some beautiful artistic drawings here. Also, one of these characters, they die, I guess. This character named called Buddy, who appears in this, and then I guess he comes back, and I don't really know. Also, this is, his shirt's colored wrong. And I guess I drew this later and then forgot to color it, which is lovely. And I thought the best way to defeat these candy canes is to make them into a dessert, and that makes sense. There's a milkshake, I think, and a cookies. So candy cane cookies and milkshakes. That actually sounds pretty good, but I know there's a lot of continuity problems here in these books. And yeah, that's how it ends. Lovely. The fourth book, this wasn't really going to be the cover because it was drawn in blind paper, but I guess my younger self got lazy and just kept it. So, of course, this will forever say, coming soon. This is the fourth book called Spidey Shorty. And yeah, you can see this book is great because every page is different paper. I'm not even joking by that. Not every page, but a lot of different there's different types of paper in it. And I didn't even do the stylized four like I did the other books. Lovely. So introduce this cat. It was a cat in the neighborhood named Shorty. I was like, hey, let's put that book character in the book. But she has Spider-Man powers. Like, that makes any sense. So, hey, there's continuity. There are in the plane going back home from the North Pole. So, they fight. This is obviously different paper, not line paper. Like I said, I don't know why I didn't keep consistent here. This one I remember taking me a while to make when I was a dumb kid. Like, look at this. The paper changes. I also introduced a new character called Super Guinness. Yeah, I'm not even joking. A neighborhood dog. Obviously, that is not his name anymore. He was actually originally going to be the Elvis character, but I decided to change it to my cousin's dog, because why not? And yeah, so Spidey Shorty, who is supposed to be a villain, even though she's dressed up like Spider-Man, which makes no sense, is fighting Frankentyre because she got zapped by a wand. And here's some shameless thing I did. I did Flip-O-Rama. If you don't know Captain Underpants, so you know that there's parts of the books where you flip it. In this book, I don't have it work. In this binder, I don't have it working because it doesn't really for that. But it worked, oddly enough, even for my crappy drawings. I can't really showcase it that well here. But yeah, I did Flip-O-Rama in these books, which is pretty lovely. But yeah, King Cat, he has this wand, which is a ball on a stick, that basically can do whatever. Like, it can, like, shrink, it can make stuff, it can, like, it's pretty broken. I just don't know exactly what I was really thinking. And, yeah, like, here it shoots a web, and it becomes a shrink machine, and he shrinks them. And here's the last part that you get kicked. And here's the fifth book I made, which is called And the Attack of the Shrink Man, or as I wrote it, Super Oreo and Super Elvis 5 and the Attack of the Shrunk Man. Lovely. So this is the Shrink Man, and this one is done entirely on this horrible paper. I don't know why. So, like I said, continues from the last one. King Cat, I guess, gets swapped with Spidey Shorty for some reason, but then he makes a machine that makes him grow back, but it also hits the shrink machine from the last book. Remember that thing? And he has a banana mouth, and yeah, here he is. He's a new villain. It's such an odd thing that my brain made up. So he goes on a rampage, and then these are the Super Pets, which I renamed those later. And they go to fight, and most of the fighting is just Flip-O-Rama. Because if it worked the first time, it worked the second time. Even though the drawings are bad, the Flip-O-Rama did work. Maybe I'll put it back in this book. And yeah, for some reason, King Cat teams up with him, but then his random machine thing, shoots blankets, and the blankets are evil. And this cover is totally not ripping off Captain Underpants. I like those books as a kid, and I guess I read them. Now, the sixth book actually has 3 different versions. Why this happened, I don't know. So this is the first part, which is on the same paper as the other one, so I think I did this right after it. Never colored it. I don't think I liked it. I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's not very good. I mean, none of these are really that great. But this one is just kind of bad, so... These blankets, they attack Frank and Tyler, who's now small. He gets beaten up. That happens a lot. Even though he's a giant monster, he gets pretty easily beaten up by other things. Like here, he's getting kicked in the butt. I mean, it's kind of hard to see what's even going on. More weird stuff, like they get strinked again, and they get tossed in a cage. I mean, only a little kid can make this up. Yes, this is a Oreo and Elvis fusion. So the two characters fused together. And this is the monstrosity they made. And, of course, it ends with some Flipperama. This one's not even the right... Like, here it's... Like, where's it even going? Like, geez Louise. And, yeah, that was the end. I did not like that one. And I think I forgot about it, so... I made this one, which was a Halloween theme. This is... I forgot to name the other one, but it's something convoluted. This is and the attack of the Halloween blankets. It was Halloween, I got into Halloween spirit, and I only wrote one page. And here's 6, the final. I thought this one was really cool, because I got to introduce a brand new character, Robot Oreo, who is just a metallic version of Oreo. Or basically, he's basically Metal Sonic, if you know that character. They are a little better here, but still on lined paper. Don't know why. I probably had plenty of regular paper, but, you know. So this one's actually doesn't really make much sense, and I think the reason why is that there's missing pages, because it really feels that way. So the blanket monsters, I thought, they are not really working as a villain. What if I fuse them together and have 6 eyes, because it's the 6th book? And then randomly, the character Robot Oreo attacks, and then, like I said, there's missing paper here, I feel like. And it ends. He gets arrested. The end. Coming soon. Cowboy Chronicles, Brian's Watermelon 2, and Super Oreo and Super Elvis 7, The Weddings. So, just in case you're wondering, coming soon. Never came out. Never came out. Only the cover was made. And we'll get into Brian's Watermelon 2 later, maybe. In another video. Super Oreo and Super Elvis 7, The Weddings, kind of came out, but not really. Well, I mean, come out, I mean, I made them, because they are obviously, these weren't published. So this is Super Oreo and Super Elvis 6, Caddy Notion? I don't know if this is ever going to be a book, because it's just one page, I found. And this is the 7th book that I was talking about. Super Oreo and Super Elvis 7, The Wedding. 2010, so I know I was 10. And it looks like I never finished this, but that's okay, because I made another one, The Wedding, and it never finished. Wah, wah. So yeah, I think the idea was that Wario was going to get married to Shorty, because I wanted them to be together, even though I made her a villain, and that was not very well written, but whatever. This is the little bit of the reboot I made when I was bored in 2021. These are the printed out versions just because I want to see how they would look. I did 1 and 2, but I didn't finish them. These you could find somewhere. Maybe I don't remember where I exactly put them, but I did publish those. I liked them, but then I didn't because I kind of rushed them out, and then I made different design choices, and I decided just to reboot them all. Again, it's technically another reboot, but it started when I was like, what if I made finish the 7th book? And I did, and I was like, what if I continued from there? And I started the series from there. Just bored, you know, in between the college semesters, I think, I don't know. So this is the first page of it. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I ended up doing a lot more than I thought. So this is the first book. It's a retelling of the origin. This time, they're orphans, they meet on the street, and they wander upon the lab, and they get struck accidentally. King Cat has a backstory now, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not that interesting, I feel like it could have been written better, but hey. And then I decided to redo it on the computer, because I thought it looked better, so I decided to retrace everything, because I don't know why I did it this way. it was not the best idea. I quickly learned, but I just scanned it in this way. This is book 2, At the Library, which is different than Trapped into Fairy Tale Land because they don't go to Fairy Tale Land. They get jobs at the library. This part doesn't really make much sense. I didn't care for it. And they fight this one book monster in their new job. Even though they want to be superheroes, but they're not. Trying to work into the original story is what killed me. In fact, I only decided to do 7 pages. And then I decided to, do this. Like I did the last one. Just do outlines for it. Here is the 3rd book. This is Trapped Under Ice, a redo of the 3rd one. This one, they're going to the North Pole again, but this time, one of them thinks it's a trap, and I decided to make this elf character in the original book who was just kind of an a-hole, and part of that terrible joke. What if he's the villain? And that's the only part I really like about this one. It's not terrible. Like I said, I think it ends too short, like the other ones. And I was going to do the retracing, but I decided, nope, it made no sense to do it that way. And this is book number 4, which actually has the same name as the original 4th one, being Spidey Shorty. This one is similar but different. This time they have conflict with each other, and the characters are set up a little better. It's not the best thing in the world, but this is when I think it gets a little better. 5, Attack of the Shrink Man. I had to keep the Shrink Man's original design because this thing is just so weird that, what else? I mean, how can I not bring this thing back? I like bringing back weird stuff and the people doing that. And I don't really remember what exactly goes on here. Well, I do now, but it's not much. It is a random party, and this thing comes and attacks. And then Robot Oreo, I kind of set up in these. I was like, hey, let's bring him as a character back. And this time, Triple Trouble, there's 3 villains there, because the Shrink Man's still there. And now, the Blanket Monster, who actually stood up throughout the entire series this time, as a previous character, I thought, hey, let's do something like that. Attacks, and, I thought, this is pretty cool. Fortunately, I had to wrap it up really quickly here, because I decided to do this one before I did the other ones, because I could have redone 7, but my idiot brain thought, hey, let's do 7. 7 came out before the rest of these reboot ones. And I don't think it lines up that well because it was based off the original series, because I felt like doing it that way. And it is retelling what I thought would be happening when I was a kid. But at the end of the day, it's fine, but at the same time, it's like I really should have kept it as, okay, that's the 7th one of the original series, and not have you know what I mean? It's not bad. Here is the 8 I was originally going to do, but then I scrapped it. So there you go. And I think by the time I get to 8, when I'm not remaking my old books, these get a little better. This is Franken Tyler, or the Modern Prometheus, which gives a little more backstory in the characters and stuff like that. It's okay-ish, nothing too spectacular. Introduce a new character who is Cookie. It's a cat family got. Here is issue number 9. This introduces the character of Super Baseball, who is a character my brother made as a kid. I thought the character was really funny, so I thought I'd make him a joke character. This is the best issue of the book, I feel like, in my opinion. It came out pretty well. At least the finalized version. These are like the sketch. 10 through 11 is the same issue, basically. This kind of fight in the woods. 11, like I said, is the same, continuing it. It's mostly action. 12, I was saying, was storyline. It wasn't too bad, but 12 is where it ends here, unfortunately, for you guys, because I decided for 13, 14, and 15 to do them all digitally, which is something that I decided not to do with this book. This is Super Orby #1. I decided to change his name because, Oreo is a copyrighted trademark. So, hey, so I said, let's call him Orby. I thought that would work. So this is what I'm working on currently. These are just the sketch versions, and I finalize them through the computer, and it's getting close to being done. So let you know if you guys are interested in that. And that is a lot of the books. Now, here is some additional artwork that I have made throughout the years. Here's a weird redesign. I don't know when I did that. Here's one I did when I was a kid. Look, he's fighting the evil blanket monster. Here's just some random game ideas I had at one point, which are really weird. Here's some redesigns, work on sketches when I was doing the reboot. It's very important to sketch out your ideas. One of the big things I did is redesign the characters' eyes. They originally had dot eyes, and I decided, hey, let's make it more expressive. And the thing I did recently is I gave them hands and actual feet were in the bulbs, because they didn't really work that well, the rounded ends. I thought, at least. But yeah, here's some sketch ideas, and these are two characters that I made as a kid. I thought, let's bring them back, but I just have not put them in the comic. Here's some original redesigns for some of the characters to make them more interesting. I did a lot. This is when I realized that something like this wasn't as good as something like that. You know, that just figuring it out. Like, I was figuring out what expressions to work here. Here's a really old door thing where he's saying, "Shh, I'm reading." I guess I didn't know how to spell the word "shh" or that or something like that, so I just wrote "shuz." I'm reading. And it's supposed to go on your door, but obviously I never cut it out or anything. And here's this random drawing. Here is a hypothetical game for the B3D. My brother made a game console called the B3D, and I was like, wow. I guess it was supposed to be in 3D, like, not like 3D graphics, but like actual, like, come out of your face 3D, like 3DS. And yeah, here's the idea. It's going to be E, and it looks like Elvis here is going to use his cape to fly. Go over this tightrope. There's a little cat bot shooting at him, and there's 5 lives each, and there's a 3 lightning bolt. And yeah, amazing. And this is something I guess I never finished. And there's another random drawing. I was bored in high school one day, so I redesigned all the characters. And yeah, these characters have not been in the books or something I had ideas for. And this is a random issue of Archie, which I only have because Sonic's on the cover. And last is this is Lightning Paws, the original paintings. If you don't know, Lightning Paws is one of the books I officially published that you actually can buy on Amazon right now, get a physical copy. But these are the original paintings that go for it. They're pretty cool, but I really don't feel like pulling them out. Yeah, that was Super Oreo. Crash course into it. A lot of these are available on Amazon, so if you're interested in there, go there. And yeah, if you're more interested, if you're interested in more stuff, let me know, because I am doing them. And make sure to check out my TikTok to see the pages for the new Super Oreo book, if you're interested. But yeah, thank you for watching.